Hi guys, Scott Woodward with you to talk about the South Sydney Rabbitohs 2012 chances. And look, I give the Rabbitohs a fantastic chance of winning the title in 2012 simply because of two reasons. They have a new coach and they have a new halfback, and I'll explain why that is a big issue in 2012. They have a wonderful list, and it's just a matter of them having an organising halfback and getting it to the massive skill in the list, and they are as good a team in the competition. Last year they finished 11th. I have no doubt that they'll be playing semi-final football this year, and I think they can go on and win the title, and largely because of the areas where I think they'll improve a lot. They finished last for missed tackles last year. That was largely because of their halfback Chris Sando, who has been the worst tackler in the NRL for the last 3 years. He's now gone to Parramatta, and also Isaac Luke, their hooker, is also a bad tackler. I'm sure his tackling technique will be changed in 2012 under his new coach, Michael Maguire, who is a disciplinarian and very, very big on defence. So I think you can see a marked improvement from Isaac Luke this year. The other area where South Sydney went awful last year was line breaks conceded. They were just terrible in defence, and they just let line break after line break. So it's no surprise that they finished out of the semi-finals, finishing last for line breaks conceded and last for missed tackles. They were also not good in a lot of other key areas that I find very important when analysing a game. But let's look at the likely team that I think will field for round one in the competition, and I think you're fine providing they can keep this list on the field and they can have a little bit of luck with injuries, of which they didn't have last year. This is going to be a very formidable team in any game they play. I would assume that Nathan Merrit will be the fullback. I have no idea why he hasn't been the fullback in the last 2 or 3 years. He's clearly the best fullback in the club. Every time he plays there, he doesn't make a lot of errors. He's good with the high ball, and he's just very, very elusive when he pops up either left side of the field, right side of the field, and he certainly knows how to score a try. An outstanding player, Nathan Merrit, and put it this way, if they can find a better fullback than him, they'll be doing very, very well. So he's my fullback. The big question, I'm not quite sure what Michael Maguire was going to do with Matt King. Matt King is a left centre, but so is their champion, Greg Inglis. So only one of those guys can play there, and I'll be very surprised if he drops Dylan Farrell and plays one of the guys on the right side, which is their uncomfortable side of the field. I think he'll keep both Matt King and Greg Inglis on the left side of the field, which means Matt King will have to play on the wing, and he'll contend that position, I would think, with probably Talanoa. But obviously he's a liability, makes a lot of errors, and he'll be a challenge for the new coach. But no one's ever questioned the talent of Talanoa, and if Michael Maguire can get the best out of him, we'll see a very special player. But he is a mistake freak. So we're talking about Nathan Merrit at fullback. I think Matt King should be the left winger, and his partner right alongside of him will be Greg Inglis. That's a very, very formidable 1-2-3. The other centre will be Dylan Farrell. He had a good year last year. Probably just a little tinge disappointing for me. I thought he went very good in attack. I would have liked to seen some of his defence a little bit better. Once again, I think the new coach will help him a lot in that area. On the right wing, I think that'll be a toss-up between James Roberts and Kane Morgan. James Roberts will be a contender for the number 1 position also, but both very fine players, and both guys know how to score tries. John Sutton, the highly talented John Sutton, once again will be in the 6th position, and I'll be I'd love to be a fly on the wall and listening to the conversations between him and his new coach. Real challenge for a coach when you've got a guy like John Sutton with such immense talent, and we have never really seen the best of him. He certainly has got the talent to play in any representative team, and yet he hasn't done that. So it must be very frustrating for his supporters, and we hold high hopes that we'll see the best of him in 2012. A lot of that will depend on who his halfback is going to be, if he's going to get good service, and he certainly didn't get good service under Chris Sando. From what I'm hearing and what I've seen of Adam Reynolds, he will be the first pick for the halfback. Some of the guys that they've brought in from Queensland, Justin Hunt and Ryan Carr, will be backups there. But Adam Reynolds was out all last year recovering from injury, and he has got, if he continues with the promise that he showed in the Toyota Cup, he could be the answer that South Sydney are looking for. He's a much better organiser than Sando, has got a better kicking game, and he will talk better than Sando, and that's what's been sadly lacking in the South Sydney team in recent years, and that's what will take them ahead. They need to get that organising halfback. In years gone by, the best organising halfback that I've seen at South Sydney was Craig Coleman, and Craig Coleman has got a high opinion of Adam Reynolds. He told me that he thinks he'll make the grade, and for him to say that, that will do me, because they need somebody who can organise and talk like Craig Coleman can. So for him to say that about Adam Reynolds, that's very exciting as far as I'm concerned. As far as the forward pack is concerned for the Rabbitohs, it doesn't get much better. We're going to kick off with two international props, Sam Burgess and Roy Asotasi. It doesn't get any better than that. They're both world class, and to have a fit Sam Burgess in your side is just monumental. He's clearly one of the best forwards in the world, and Roy Asotasi is a former captain of New Zealand. So they're pretty well served there, the Rabbitohs up front. They also have the international Kiwi hooker Isaac Luke at 9, and I think he'll have a bonza year under the new coach. For the back rowers, we have Michael Croker and Big Dave Taylor. Michael Croker, you would think, will have to start if he's going to be captain. And look, I think the coach will plump for Ben Lowe at lock forward, simply because he's an absolute workaholic. And if you're going to be having guys in your side like Dave Taylor, you do need to cover for a little bit of defence. Dave Taylor's not the best worker of the forwards, and so you need to have a guy like Ben Lowe there to not only make his tackles, but make a few tackles as well for Dave Taylor. Dave Taylor should be used there as an attacking weapon. I wouldn't want to be making him too tired and having to make 40 tackles a game. He's just too good. He's just too big and strong. On the bench, outstanding bench, guys like Luke Burgess, who promises to be anything. He's only a kid coming through. Chris McQueen showed terrific talent last year, can play almost any position. The very reliable Scott Geddes will be one of the backups off the bench in the forward pack. Sean Corrigan also showed a lot of promise last year. He's very, very talented. Eddie Peterbourne always makes an impact when he comes off the bench. Generally plays on that right side in the back row. Dave Tyrrell went terrific last year when there was a lot of injuries. And one of the big young guns, the very promising, a guy called Adrian Hargana. Remember that name. I think you'll be hearing a lot from him in 2012. I expect, if there's injuries, that he'll come onto the bench. He's a big, strong blockbuster, and I think he'll be a name that'll be around with the Rabbitohs for many years to come. Of course, the very reliable Jason Clark and Nathan Peets are other guys that will be in contention for a bench position for the Rabbitohs. So there it is for me. My feelings about the Rabbitohs. I know that they'll correct the areas where they went wrong last year with the missed tackles. I have no doubt their defence will be much better this year, providing they start with. They're going to have a good fullback from the way go in Nathan Merrit. John Sutton, we know how good he is. Providing Adam Reynolds can live up to his reputation and make the grade like we think he will, I've got no doubt that South Sydney can not only play semi-final football, but go all the way in 2012. Good luck if you're a Rabbitoh supporter.